how's it Mzansi? Welcome to Farmers Inside Track, proudly brought to you by Food for Mzansi. My name is Patricia Tembo, your host, and welcome to episode 553. So today we're looking at agro-processing and how you as a primary producer or farmer can get into value addition as a form of farm and income diversification. This episode is set to be both informative and practical as we welcome Martin Boima, who is an experienced agripreneur and farmer. Martin Boima, welcome to Farmers Inside Track. We're glad to have you on today's episode.
Thanks very much. I would like to thank you for this invite. By the way, my name is Martin Boima. I am from Limpopo in the Zanin in Blueberry South area. It's in the rural area. I'm staying in the rural area. So what I'm doing here in Zanin, I'm a farmer. So in farming, I'm doing agro-processing, I'm doing animal farming, and I'm also doing crop farming. So in animal farming, I've got goats, I've got chickens, and then in crop, I'm doing cash crop farming. And then in agro-processing, I've got some product that I'm producing. So I've got 3 products that I'm producing. So the first product, it's Termites Delight. The second product, it's Marula Crunch Granola. The third product is peanut powder. So with these 3 products, manufacturing them on my own. So I'm starting the product from the beginning until ready to the market. So this is what I'm doing. I'm doing crop, animal, and agro-processing.
Thanks for sharing that, Martin. Yes, you are a mixed enterprise farmer, but you are also, as you've mentioned, the founder and you're the director of Martin's Nature Care, which means you're very involved with the whole agro-processing part of the business, which is what we'll be speaking about today. So you're definitely the right person to share some tips and insights for farmers who are thinking of diversifying into agro-processing as well. So getting right into the topic, what are the core, the main food safety standards that agro-processors have to prioritize?
When it comes to agro-processing, what we really need to do when it comes to food safety standard, number one, you need to work on your packaging. The packaging is one of the best food safety standard. Number 2, you need to test your product. It needs to be tested. When it comes to testing, we are talking about the microbiology and then also for nutritional analysis, and then also to check the shelf life of the product. And then you need to check on the space whereby you are working at, the building, the place where you are processing your product. Because number one, you cannot produce your product at home, whereby you're going up and down and then maybe someone can come and put something that you don't even know. So you must have your own space when it comes to food safety standard. You need to make sure that the space that you are working in, it's a good space. There is no up and down. There is no one who can get in without your authorization. So you need to work on your space, check your space. And then the other thing is the equipment that you're going to use. You're not going to use any equipment that it comes your way that you say, let me just use. There is some specific equipment that you are using in agro-processing. Number one, the equipment that you need to use, it's stainless steel. Most of the equipment must be stainless steel. So is the equipment, is the building, and also equipment, packaging, and then also to test your product. And then also the kind of delivering transport that you're going to use. You must also check on it, on what kind of transport you're going to use.
When you mentioned testing as being one of the main standards that you need to prioritize, so let's speak a little bit more about that. What role does nutritional and microbial testing play in the safety of a product, and how can an agro-processor start this process?
When it comes to testing, you need to test your product so that if one can hold your products, they will be able to know what kind of nutritional info is there. Number one, you need to test for a customer need to know the content of sugar, protein, how many % of protein is in there. Number one, you went to your doctor and then they said you need to eat at least 20% of protein every day. So for you to know that is to look at the product itself and then go and check how many % of protein is there, how many % of glucose is there, is the important part of making the nutritional info. And then for microbiology, it's for you to check or whether, because now when you're talking about the processing, it means you are going to mix so many things. For my product, number one, I'm going to give you an example with my product for Termites Delight. So with the Termites Delight, I've mixed a lot of things. Number one, I've mixed oats, honey, dates, psyllium husk, sunflower seed, and then also the termites itself, the soldier termites. So when I mix those things, I need to take my product and then take it to the lab, and then so that they can check on those things that I've mixed. Are they not going to make any poison or anything? Because we can mix things that you must not supposed to mix. And then we're going to check on these things that we've mixed. Are they edible? Are they good for you to eat? Okay, it's fine. Is the microbiological part. And then after, we're going to check on with the nutritional analysis. Okay, you've mixed things and then they are good for you. Yes, they are edible. You can eat. You can give someone to eat. But what kind of nutritional info do they have? How many percent of protein? How many percent of sodium? How many percent of energy? You see, so that we can know what kind of energy, protein, and the nutritional info part. It's for you to check what kind of nutritional info. The microbiology part is to check whether whatever that you've mixed, is it edible? Is it good for you to give someone to eat or not?
Yeah, that's quite important because obviously if you're mixing different ingredients, they also react differently to each other, which, as you've said, can be poisonous. And also the importance of noting the ingredients because people have allergies. So you need to note what is inside.
The ingredient.
Yeah, so
the process is like this. You develop a product, number one, and then after developing your product, you're going to eat it yourself because you are the one who's making it. There is no problem with that. And maybe some few people, they cannot put you into trouble. Not everyone. If you're going to sell those products to someone, like it's going to make take trouble. So you're going to test maybe with your friends and family, and then they tell you that this product is good. And then the next step, what you're going to do, you're going to take your product to the lab. For you to take the product to the lab, you're going to ask them to do microbiology and then also for nutritional analysis. And then also the shelf lifespan. How long can my product last on the shelf? You cannot do that on yourself. If there is any preservative that you need to do, they're going to do troubleshooting on the product. They're going to help you at the lab on, okay, now you have done your product, but this product is not good. It's not going to last for long on the shelf. And then for your product to last longer, they will give you advice there. I think all the labs, we've got so many labs, like for example, it's not like I'm advertising them, but we've got SAB, South African Bureau of Standard. Like for now, even so many universities, they're also they've got the labs that they can help you with the microbiology testing and then also for product testing and the shelf life, and then also help you to develop your product. What kind of other things can you add in there to preserve them for mold, So those are the important things. And then that's the second step that you need to do. You produce your product, you take your product to the lab, and your product is at the lab. There is no way that they can say this product is not going to work. It's either they're going to remove some things or they're going to add something. As long as you know your product and then it's good, it's either they're going to add or else to remove. And then they're going to help you to develop the product. But it's a price with that one because it's a little bit expensive. Also, what you need to work while your product is there, or maybe when your product comes back, they say, no, Martin, your product now, it's fine. It's good for eating. And then you can also give it to the people to consume. And then now you can work on your packaging. And then on your packaging, you must show that the ingredients that are in there, you must show the nutritional info, typical nutritional info. And then you must also write the allergies. Like my product is made from, there is some nuts. You must show the people, those who are going to buy that this product, it's got this and this and this and this and that. Like for allergy advice, my product is got peanuts. I've mixed with peanuts. Like there is some food that that most people are allergic. And then you can just show that for allergy, there is some peanuts, there is some milk, there is some this and this and that. And then you must put it on your package. You must also put the expiry date. The expiry date must be there. You must show it that this product is going to be expired by end of June 2026. You must also write the manufacturing date, that my product, it was manufacturing at this date, is going to expire at this date. The other thing that you need to write for your own safety, you need to write what you call a batch number. For consumers, there's nothing that you have to do with the batch number. But the batch number, it comes whereby someone said they ate my product and then they're getting sick. What am I going to do? Like, let's say they ate my product and they're getting sick. I'm going to ask them to bring back the product or maybe tell me the batch number. I'm going to tell them, okay, if you can check on the corner there is this batch number. For mine, I'm writing them as the date and then abbreviation of my company, and then also the time. So with that batch number, the batch number is going to help me to trace the product. And then also if I want to do the product recall, they must know which product should I bring back. Okay, I said the batch number 2026 MNC. They will understand everyone who's got the batch number 2026 MNC, they must bring back the product, then I refund them. Or else it's either they destroy them or product recall or return to vendor. Like they're going to bring back to me, and then we're going to do research. If someone got sick of them, or maybe let's say 3 or 4 people, they got sick, and then when we check them, it says the batch number is this number, like they're getting sick because of one batch number. That's why we're going to do what? We're going to do product recall. It's going to help me, because now, for example, they can say, let's say there is a tin fish that is giving people sick for a certain brand. And then what they're going to do, they're going to recall that batch. They know how to recall them. Is everything that is going to make everyone, like all the product is going to make everyone sick. There is a batch that maybe there was a problem with it. So they're going to recall that one. It's also saving cost, because imagine when they say Martin's Nature Care product is giving people sick, I'm going to return everything. Imagine someone bought 20,000 and it doesn't even have that fault. But with the batch number, it's going to help me to recall the product in a good way. The last important thing that you need to put on your product, it's a barcode. If you can go to SA barcode, you can buy your barcode that it's yours, like it's for that product. So you need to buy a barcode and then also put on the product. And then the other thing, nice packaging, attractive, and then also the kind of packaging that you're going to use. It's not any product that you can, there are some things that you know that you never saw, let's say maybe fish in a plastic bag is there, but like for long life shelving, there is some kind of packaging that you need to use. Like you must check what kind of packaging should I use for your product. You must do the nice investigation, and also you need to check with other products. Okay, now I'm making granulas. I'm also have to go to the shelf and check what kind of packaging did they use for their granulas. It's already there in the market. So some of things you just need to do what copy and paste.
You were mentioning the batch number there, that it also helps you to trace back certain issues that may have occurred in, while the product was being produced. I think the batch number. Yeah. And then I wanted to ask about the expiry date. How is that determined for a product?
What they're going to do is they're going to take your product, and then they've got testing machines, and then also just to put it on the shelf. And then they're going to take piece by piece and then checking whether is this product still on good condition, or like they're going to make like prototype, like so many samples, and then they're just going to put them on the shelf. You can also do that with yourself because you know your product. But what I can advise is that you can do it with labs. So what you can do is to make so many products and then put them in the shelf. And then yourself, because you're the one who's going to test everything. And then you can, let's say you make 20 of them, or maybe you make 12 for the whole year while you are busy on the process. And then you're going to test them half and half, like piece by piece. And then also there are some previous chemicals that are there to preserve your product, that they already know this product is going to last. If you put this, your product obviously is going to last for this long.
With the business, our agro-processor makes shortcuts, right? It goes to the market. What are the consequences of not adequately testing for certain facts, as you've mentioned? Once it's in the market, what consequences are there for not doing all of what you've mentioned thoroughly?
Number one, if someone got sick of your product, you're going to be in trouble. Number one. Number two, people nowadays, they know what they're eating. They check before. So if your product is there in the market, like there is nothing that is written there, no information, nutritional info, they won't buy. So your product will always be there, you see. So because now people, they understand what they're eating. And then number one, they won't buy. Your product is not going to move. And then you cannot, there is some market that you cannot even take it there. They will check and then tell you that this is not allowed. When talking about the formal market, when talking about retailers, when talking about big markets, unless we call it black market, unless in black market is whereby you can sell it. You can sell, but you are not going anywhere. So those are the things that you really need to do for you to be able to supply to, for example, ShopRite, Pick n Pay, like those big stores. That's what they need. There is no jigga. There is no way that you can go without doing those things. There are things that you need to do. Each and every product, if you can go to any shelf, you're going to find those. So you're not going to make it Number one, like it's not going to even make it, like it's not even in the entry level of getting into any supermarket. So those are the things that you really need to do.
Now, looking at the practical steps an agro-processor can take, especially if you're just starting, so you may not have all the equipment and resources that are needed, but you want to go into agro-processing and make sure that the product is safe to consume. What advice or steps do you have for those agro-processors who are just starting? They don't have access to all of the equipment and things that are needed, but what's your advice?
With that one, it's a little bit painful because when you can check, so many people have got ideas, they've got plans, but when it comes to equipment, they don't have. Yeah. And then they end up losing their idea and then giving up. But with me, I didn't give up. Yes. Because if you don't know, you don't know. If you don't know, you don't know. And then if you've got someone who's there to advise you, will advise you and then also show you the way. Like number one, with myself, I developed my product without knowing that I even have to register my business. Imagine. Like I thought maybe when I've got product, I can just take it to. When I get there, they said, no, where is your company registration? I need to register a company. There are some things that you cannot gather them at the same time. But what I can tell you is that we need to keep on doing. Number one, I developed my product. And then when I go there, they say, no, like number one, what is your company name? I don't have company name. It means I have to go back and do what? And register a company. And then after registering a company, they want to see things like there is some tax clearance, SARS certificate, VAT certificate, food safety certificate, COAs. And then when you go there, and then you must also check with the person who's telling that they need this and this and that. And then also they must also give you advice or maybe refer you to someone who already got those kind of things. And then I did my research and then I got the company certification, company registered. It's fine. My company is registered. And then I went back to them. My space was too small and I was producing my product at home. And then like I'm going to tell you the steps based on my story. So what happened is that while going up and down, and then when after registering the company, taking back my product, they said the package is not proper. I remember I was using the vacuum sealer, but if you can check, I was busy. I was producing, like I was making my product easy, but I was using the vacuum sealing. So those plastic from vacuum sealer, and then they said, no, your product is not, the packaging is not. And then I went to the shops and then look at the kind of the similar products that I'm producing. So I found some of them in a box, standard pouch, and then it's whereby I bought what? I started to order the standard pouch from Takealot. And then I started to put my product in the standard pouch. And then now they look better, but the design and the stickers that I'm putting on the product, they were not good at all because they were not having the nutritional info and all those kind. Now they're taking my product and they say, where is the nutritional info? It's not there. I remember I went to University of Limpopo. It's whereby I got the advice about the nutritional info. And then people from Limpopo, when they come to my office, like to my space whereby I was working, they tell me that, Martin, no, this is not the right equipment that you have to use. For the right equipment, you need to use the stainless steel. But they did not discourage me to stop. You cannot stop. What you can do is make sure that with the equipment that you are using, there is no contamination. Like the things that you are doing, they are not good, but they must not put you into trouble. Like you can see what you are using is really not good. Like maybe you can get some, say, wooden spoon, maybe some wood in there, those kind of things. Then they gave me advice to change, but I don't have mind by that time. It means I have to go out and then look for funding because from my background, if I can tell you that for my product to be here, like a lot of money, I got it from government funding, to tell you the truth. Okay, it's fine. When they come to my office, they tell me, okay, Martin, you can also, you are still young, you can go to NIDA and then ask for funding. You can go to like CEDA, those departments. And then I went to NIDA and then I asked for funding. They give me 37,000. It's whereby I developed my office. Like I just bought the equipment that really needed to produce my product. And then I bought some store, some office equipment, those small things. I didn't buy big things and I didn't really cry for big things. Whereby I can see I started small. Since I started small, in a small office. Then I bought the equipment that they can help me to do everything in a small scale. And then with the help from NIDA, and then my product is not tested. I'm producing, but not tested. Then I went to see them. I showed them my product. They help me to test my product with SABS, and then testing a product, it can really dead drain you because for one product, you have to pay 50,000 for one product. And imagine, I've got 3 products by then. They paid a lot of money for my product. It's a lot because I didn't have. But maybe for someone it can be small. But for someone who started, it's a lot of money. Imagine you are running a business, you need to buy ingredients, like a lot of things you need to do. Products. That's why most of people, they end up getting robbed by the investors because I can see that your product has got potential. And then I say, okay, let me test your product or let me help you with the product. Then you give me 50%. And you end up withdrawing from your product because you don't have money. Like I was so patient. Even now, I still own Martin's Nature Care 100%. So what I did, and then I went to see that, then they helped me with product testing. And then my product was tested. My result came back. Now I've got a nice package. I've got small equipment. Then I took that information and then I put it on my product. Then I've got final product. What I need to do is to market my product. And then last of 2024, 2023, I saw this call from GIZ. I don't know whether you know about GIZ. In most cases, they're in partnership with Department of Forestry and Fisheries. And then there was an incubation. And then on that part of incubation, it's whereby I had to learn that when you are producing, my product is not in the market yet. Like I didn't reach the requirements for me to supply those big stores. I was selling local. So when I go to GIZ, there was an incubation program. It's whereby I learned that there is an ISO standard, there is a food safety, there is GMP. There is a lot of things that you really need to do for you to be able to qualify to supply. And then GIZ helped me with the food safety, and then they even sent me the auditor, internal auditor, like it was an internal audit. If I can tell you that a lot of things, like I was sure that my office is complete. Like that audit really made me to spend more money. It's just that my business was making like a little bit, like it was doing revenue, nice one. And that auditor showed me like a lot of mistakes, like a lot of things that I really need to do. For me to qualify for food safety, like I need to put the mouse trap inside. The equipment that I bought, some of them, they're getting rust. The holes, I need to paint with certain color. The lights, I need to change the light to plastic ones. Like I say, when they say we learn every day, that's what they mean. And that auditor from GIZ is the one who helped me. Everyone who was coming to my office was really helping me, but the guy from GIZ is the one who helped me with, like, he's the internal auditor, like he's auditing like those big manufacturing companies. And then it was small, but he helped me to audit. He did audit my place, and then he told me, Martin, now you have to change this and this and this, and that you need to paint your walls, you need to put doors, like how you're getting in and out. The door that you get in is not the door that you must use to get out. You need to have basin here and there. Like, it's not your force, but at the end of the day, you need to do those kind of things. What I can advise is that you must not find a space. You can produce things at home. It's not a pressure. You can produce things at home. And then also, we must be patient when looking for funding. Go to those websites, DFFA, CETA, NIDA, SIDFA. Like, there are so many websites that you can go and then check for fundings. I'm here where I am now because of the fundings. And also, you must also ask to be part of the exhibitions. Even though your product is not good at all, you must go and then show it to the people. And then from there, you will get people who will give you advice and then also give you the reference on, okay, for this, you have to go there. Like for me, if I get someone who's struggling, I will give them advice. But if they're at home and then producing at home, not showing us their product, maybe they're ashamed that, oh, this product is not well presentable, like it's not good. You need to take your product, let people see, and then give you advice. Where I am right now, it's because of government money, private sectors that they give me funding, yeah.
It sounds like the auditing part of it really is very important. It actually changed the direction of your business. Looking at regulations and just the law when it comes to producing products, agro-processing, which ones do farmers need to know? I'm aware of the Foodstuffs, Cosmetics and Disinfectant Act of 1972, but are there laws that agro-processors that they need to know before, venturing into agro-processing?
From my side, when it comes to law, the law part, when it comes to the quality management system, the ISO standard. But the law things, I didn't get into it too much, but It's only the compliance, like you need to comply. Like in agro-processing, you need to comply. Number one, the law we can talk about, I cannot tell it into sections, but the space that you are working at, the municipal must come and then regulate the space. You need to have the certificate of compliance. The municipal must come before you can start even building, because you cannot do the food manufacturing and then put it in, take it to the industrial site where they're producing steel and, those things that are not coming together. And then they must also come and check what are you exactly doing. Are you not going to ban anything? I think that's the law part. So there is some of certifications that you need to have before you can even think of building your factory if you have good money. Like now, there is someone who wants to start. What you need to do, you must check with your municipal that I want to do this and this and that. Can you allocate a space for me? Or maybe can I allocate and then you come and check. That is law. You cannot change that. Otherwise, they're going to remove your factory. Number one, you take a manufacturing factory, you're going to put it on the dumping site or maybe at the storage site, you see. So that is unacceptable. So those are the things that you need to check with your municipal, whether is this factory going to work here or maybe you're going to destroy, or else they will allocate the space for you. And then our law, it goes with the certifications. There are some certificates that you really need to follow for you to be able to produce.
You mentioned now certifications. So if you can maybe unpack more about the certifications or licensing that is required when it comes to making food products. Which ones can you maybe speak about that are important or necessary to have certifications and licenses?
Number one, when it comes to certification and licenses, it depends on your supplier. But it's a must for you to have them. I mean, the people that you're going to supply, not your supplier, but the people that you're going to sell to. Like number one, let's say it's a spa. They will give you the list of things that they're going to need for you to be able to supply them. So, but what I see in most cases when looking for the space whereby, we're looking for people that we can supply. Number one, they need CK. Your company need to be registered. And then with registration, the company must have the bank CIPC certificate. Like the company itself, it's more like a standalone. Like when you're registering a company, the company's got its own the SARS letter. It's got its own individual, separate. So you need to have, your company must be registered. You must have tax clearance certificate to check whether your company is still legit, because every year you need to do tax clearance certificate. And then you must have, like some of companies, they need the financial statement, but it's not really necessary. They work when you need to apply for funding. But there are some companies that they really need to see those things. And another thing, it's a COA, is Certificate of Acceptance from the municipal. It's a food safety certificate. This one, you get it from SABS or any that can give you, like they come and audit your place and then say this place, it's good for you to manufacture in. They check everything. This place is really good for someone to come and produce, for you to produce this product in. Like, is this place really good? If it's really good, like you comply with everything, the material that is inside, the lights, everything, your process, like everything, if your space is good for that, then they give you food safety certificate. So it's SARS VET CK documents, food and safety certificate of acceptance, which is COA, and then your product, then you'll be able to supply.
That'll be very helpful for our listeners. And looking at auditing, you mentioned it earlier on, that is a process that you had to go through. So for those who are, preparing for their first audit, what do they need to know? What do they have to have prepared?
When audit comes to your place, number one, there is some signs. Like number one, when I get to your factory, I need to see signs, man. Signage board, like the signs to show that here is the toilet. It's what they're looking for. If they've got toilet, do make sure that all the signs are there. And number two, when you get into the space inside, hygiene, it's one of the best. It's also one thing that they're looking at, hygiene. Hygiene is the best. Looking at hygiene, they're going to look at the space, whether is this space good for manufacturing, the up and down. Imagine you are manufacturing in a one room while you are at 20. Where is there is no order. Like they're going to look at the order. Another thing, they're going to look at the equipment part, where you store your things, your halls. They're going to check your halls. Like you have to paint your halls. Like your halls must look nice. The equipment that you are using, Before you can even call the audit, you must call someone to come and advise you before you can call the audit, because the food and safety certificate is very much expensive. It costs you more than 50,000. And then you really need to renew every now and then. So you need to check the equipment. You need to follow your hygiene process, like how you processing your things. You cannot start by packaging. You must put your things in order. Like when I say in order, you must make a space whereby you are manufacturing, and then there is a packaging area. There is a dispatch space whereby you can show that there is a dispatch. And then also your car, it must be clean, and then it must be covered. The transport mode that you're going to use, it must be covered, because on the process, there is no dust that must get inside. Unless if you are using the tin packaging, it's whereby you cannot cover, but each and every transport vehicle must be covered. Let me not lie to anyone. Each and every transport must be covered. Let's say it's an agro-processing, maybe you're processing chickens, maybe it's a frozen stuff. You need to find the proper vehicle. There is what you call a cold chain. Cold chain, you must make sure that your product is cold from your space and then until where it is going. For example, if they say this product must always be in 6 degrees Celsius, -6, you must make sure that from your space until where it is going, and then the customer must get it within 6 degrees Celsius. And then when it says keep in a cool, dry place, do make sure that the product is in a cool, dry place. Like you cannot transport bread with any kind of vehicle. Those bakeries, they are designed to carry bread because they're going to make the bread soft until where it gets to. So you need to check the kind of transportation. That is what they're going to audit. They're going to say, let's look at your vehicle. Then they check your vehicle. You are selling the cold stuff, but you don't have your vehicle that does not have freezer. That's a fail. You are producing in a dirty place. It's a fail. Inside the walls are not good. The kind of equipment you see they can make contamination, not good. The kind of lights that you are using, when I'm mentioning the light partner, the lights that you are using, there are some lights when they're tired, they blast, they step, you see, and then those glasses, they can get into the food while you are busy cooking. And then someone can consume that, and then they get problem with those. And then you need to change your lights and then make the plastic one. When they die, they don't make any noise, they just die. And then you change the bulbs. That's nice. The lights, the floor, the dust. There is some floor that is not, is it? Do you have got tile? Even though it's not tile, but is there any kind of dust that is going to make when the PPE, if you've got your stuff, the earrings, it's not allowed in those, the rings, you must put them aside for my manufacturing space. When you get there, you must take off your ring, you must take off your earrings, you must get into the proper PPE. The clothes that you came here wearing, you must change them. We've got changing clothes. You like it or not? If you can check during the week, there was this up and down of this certain shop that they say the workers cannot work on the gardens while there. Those kind of things, they're not good for someone who's working with food, which is true. If you can check the news for this week. And then it's not acceptable. There's someone who's working outside. Like they say, okay, Martin, let's come and show us your workers. Someone who's wearing PPE is busy there cleaning outside. They're going to get dust, like they're going to get so many things. When they come inside and to produce our food, there might be a contamination. You need to make sure that if they want to see the process, how you producing your things, you must not do it for granted. Like you must clean your hands. If you are using your hands, like you must make sure that the hygiene is one of the best. Not going up and down. Maybe they can see you coming from toilet and go straight to your food. You need to clean, like you must do. Hygiene must be one of the best.
Yeah, so hygiene is the main thing, but also the correct, you said PPE, clothing, equipment, everything. They look at all of that when it comes to auditing, transporting. Thank you so much for sharing that. And then when it comes to food, obviously you want to build trust with your customer, right? So how does food safety or ensuring all of these things are in place create trust with your customer and the market that you're trying to access?
Number one, to show that the customer that their food, they're safe, like what they're going to eat, it's safe. The packaging is the one that is attracting the customer. We're talking about the attraction, and also the customer will be sure that this product that I'm eating, it's really good by looking at the packaging, not the branding, the kind of packaging that you've used, the color of your product. When you're producing your product today, it must not be brown, and then tomorrow it's dark brown, tomorrow it's light. If it's a stove, you must do make sure that you are setting your temperatures nicely. When we know like my product, most of them, like my product are golden brown. So the color of your things that you're going to eat, it must always be the same. Today, I buy your product, the packaging, it's other way around. And then the color of your product, yesterday I bought the other one, it was brown. It's the same product. Today it's brown, tomorrow it's black. Ow, what's wrong with this product? And also the taste. When it comes to manufacturing, you need to do your measurement nicely. You must use the scale whereby it's necessary. Everything must be measured. Even the sugar, like you must not do that like those magwinya that you buy on the street that they just put sugar with the cup or maybe with the hand and then, to make sure if you're cutting your product, you must use the same cutter. Everything you must put it in the scale. The sugar is 200 grams. You must always put 200 grams. Today is 200 grams, tomorrow is 300 grams. You must make sure that you are using the same measurement to produce your product. Yeah. And then your packaging, today your packaging is light, tomorrow it's if today it's fake, tomorrow it's original. No, listen. And then you must check your packaging, whether the packaging material that you're using, it must always be the same. If the supplier are going to change the packaging, like you must always buy your things from one supplier because the suppliers cannot make things like for my product. There is some brand that I'm trusted, even though, like, let's say it's a peanut butter, even though I cannot taste it, but I know that the supplier that I'm buying from them, they're reliable because I cannot always test their stuff for me to mix, you see. But I know this product is always the same. It means even my result when I'm mixing these two products will always be the same. So today you go to Checkers, you find that you see another kind of, let's say honey, it's cheap, and then you buy tomorrow, you're going to have a problem because even the taste is going to be different. And then when it comes to customers, the people, those who are always eating your product, they will tell you, no, this is not good. So you must check your supplier and then also do the right thing when you are manufacturing.
Explain that really well. Of course, as a customer, you want to see consistency. Just by looking at the product, you want to know that it's safe to eat, that it will also be delicious, because I think that the packaging also, plays to that, how appetizing the product can look.
Yeah, there is some products, but only by looking at the packaging. You don't even know what is inside, but you can feel like you can just eat it. Like the things that are shown outside, the colors that are there, they don't look dangerous. Use the bright colors when it comes to your packaging. Use the right colors in your packaging. Now, imagine putting black. It seems like there is too much peri-peri. When you see the color, like the color coding also makes sense when it comes to packaging.
I don't know if there's anything else you think you'd like to discuss that we haven't spoken about that would be relevant for our listeners regarding agro-processing. Let me know if there's anything else.
I've touched on the things that you really need to know. But what I can say is that, there is a red tape when it comes to supplying your product to certain store. The red tape is what it's not really like the red tape, but those are the things that can stop you. If you are not patient enough, you can end up like give up in. Like for you to get ISO standard certificate, like those certificate is not one day process. Like it's a long process. So what one have to do is to be patient and then also to make sure that they are getting them from the right suppliers, because these days people can fake. There is so many fakes. I remember when the guy who did the design for my packaging, I give him the design for my packaging just for me to give him the design. And then when my stickers come back, they come back with nutritional info. And I didn't do the nutritional info first. So you must also check with the people that you're working with, or are they doing the right thing? Where did he get the nutritional info? Because for myself, my product is not yet tested. So we must be far from people, those who are taking chances. Otherwise, you might find that the things are not legit, because you might even write that SAB tells that. And then I'm going to take my product, give it to the people. And then when they eat, they have to go to SABS and then check it on their system whether it's my product or it was not even there. It means it's going to cost myself. I'm the one who's going to be in danger, because it means I've put the wrong information on the package. Everything that one is putting on their product must make sure that is the right information. Like the information that you're putting there, it must be right, and then it must be written down. Like everything must be okay. No chances. Even the barcode, there are some people who are selling barcodes online. You might find out that you are taking a barcode for some product that were maybe made problem long ago, and then you're putting it into a product. That's wrong. So you must go to the right place. If you don't understand anything, just go to the website. Now AI can help us into manufacturing. Like AI is one of the best. Artificial intelligence, I think you're also using it somewhere, somehow. I don't know where. Yeah, so AI is not really lying, but can give you some hints and advice here and there.
Thank you so much to Martin Boima. And of course, you can visit www.foodfromzansi.co.za to read more about today's topic. And that brings us to the end of this episode. Remember to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. From myself, Patricia Tembo, our technical producer, Megan van der Vent, and the rest of #Team Food from Zanzi, thank you for listening and keep growing with us.